And greetings on this Christmas morning in British Columbia. In our part of the valley, we have a little less than 20 centimeters of snow on the ground. And at the monastery, we're really trapped in. We have a private road over 300 meters long, and it has, we say, almost 20 centimeters of snow on it. Fortunately, we have one of our pilgrims from Virginia who's come to spend the holiday here as a pilgrim, who's at least cleaned the walkways. And I had reflected a few minutes ago on a broadcast about the way that Christmas season brings out so much of the best in people. And really, one of the great wonders of it is that it's not just Christian believers who suddenly turn toward others and feel a renewed sense of reaching out and even a kind of a joy in other people. And if we could bring that joy to some kind of fullness and look at this time of year, perhaps it might even be well, in the spirit of this joy and caring for other people, when we reveal that mankind really is essentially good, and that the image and likeness of God in mankind may have dimmed, but certainly has not vanished, that it is there to be brought out in certain seasons of the year. We might take a little time to sit down during the season, though, and make a list of all the peoples that we're prejudiced against, all the peoples that we feel that we hate, never mind the ones who hate us or despise us, but to think about all of the prejudices that we do have, which still poison the stream of humanity. Over the centuries, so many prejudices have finally been conquered in many societies. And we have yet a ways to go in our narrowness and our bigotries, all of us. And we have to include to include myself in that as well. And this season of the year, when we will reach out to the poor and the dispossessed, when we have the programs of filling backpacks for street people, trying to feed the hungry, and realize too that at other times of the year we should pay a great deal more attention to these people and to their needs than we actually do. But we thank God that we do have the Christmas season, which brings us around and reminds us again and really opens our hearts toward other people. That's why, as I mentioned earlier, I like to remember that it is also the Hanukkah season, and that the old Israel also had their miracles, their deliverance, and their joys, and that our Christian faith is really a continuation of the prophecies of the Old Testament, and that we ourselves are born of the Jews. And not just to look at the Jews then as being close spiritual relatives, but to look at all mankind as being a close spiritual relative. The differences in our perspectives and our faith and our understandings are obvious and clear, and we do not have to compromise our faith in order to reach out with love to other people. And this is one of the great essentials that this season should call us to. When we help to feed somebody on the street, we never ask them, what nationality, what race, or what religion are you, or are you an atheist, or we just reach out to them as fellow human beings. It is in this Christmas season, then, that we imitate the ancient Christians so well, remembering that one of the Roman complaints about the ancient Christians was that what makes them so dangerous is that they care for everyone without distinction, not just their own. And so we also need to realize that one of the great gifts of Christmas, the Nativity season, is that because of the incarnation of God, because of the Nativity of Christ, we're brought back into something of the frame of mind of the ancient Christians who cared for all without distinction. And let us also take time to realize that so often when we see people who are in genuine suffering, we judge their suffering in a moralistic way and condemn them because of it. And hopefully the Christmas season could at least soften our hearts in those cases and cause us to look with more compassion and strive for more understanding of other people. And that is why I did suggest that it's a good time to sit down and list all of our prejudices, all of the people we think we hate, all the kinds of people we think we despise, and prayerfully contemplate with real prayer, why? Why should I be prejudiced against a person? Why should I have hatred against someone else? Why should I feel animosity toward a category or class of people? Having grown up in the 50s and 60s, we remember all too well the horrors that visited a person who, because they were black. And so, because of that, all prejudices trouble us a great deal. And they should trouble everyone. But Christmas season being a season of joy, a season that illumines people's hearts, a season that opens us up with charity and love toward others, it really is a good time to try to create something that can last throughout the whole year, and to create a sense of other human beings, of their beauty, of the fact that they're the image and likeness of God, and that they have sometimes a great deal of suffering. Not just physical suffering, but even worse, inner suffering. And that we should take great pains not to add to human suffering and pain by our prejudices and our malice and our hatred. Things that are ingrained in us politically, socially. To look back at some of the attitudes of, say, St. John Chrysostom, who might shock some of our modern people by saying, it would be no sin to take half of everything that the wealthy have and distribute it to the poor, provided we did it without malice. So it's a time that we can weigh some of the darker sides of our own persons, our own personalities, our own socio-political prejudices and the things ingrained in us from outside the church, and see if we can't improve on that, and see if we can't take this season of joy and openness and love and peace, which it truly is, and help it to penetrate our hearts for the rest of the year. And this would be also a very great accomplishment. And it's a challenge that I would like to put out to all of you now for this Christmas season, whether you're celebrating Christmas now or whether you'll be celebrating on the old calendar in another few weeks. And the whole season, the 12 days that it gives us of the Christmas season, we can carry this joy from this liturgy of Christmas to the liturgy which is celebrated on the 7th of January, and carry that same joy through the Theophany. And in that way, perhaps help to enlighten our souls, to illumine us, and to bring us away from some of the more dark and negative sides of the human personality, so that we can have more of this openness and this joy throughout the whole year.